Shalom. I'm Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I'm going to speak about this week's Torah reading, which is Parsha Noach. And we learn a very important lesson from this. This, of course, is the Torah reading where God brought the great flood upon the world and destroyed all the world except Noach, his family, and the animals that were with him on the ark. What do we learn from this? We know that when the Torah tells us things, the Torah is not telling us just stories. The Torah is telling us things that we should learn from every single day. And one of the things we learn from this is the importance of doing chesed, kindness to others. So let's talk about that. The Torah says as follows in this week's Parsha. Vayar Elokim es ha'oretz, God saw the earth. V'hine nishchasa, he saw it was corrupt it was. Ki hishchis kol basar es darko al ha'oretz, for all flesh had corrupted its ways on the earth. V'yomer Elokim leNoach, God said to Noach, Kate called basar ba lefanai, I decided to put an end to all flesh. Ki mal ha'oretz chamas, because the world is filled with chamas, corruption, lawlessness, robbery, mipneihem. Everybody is thinking about themselves and not worrying about who they hurt. And therefore, I will destroy the earth. I'll destroy the people with the earth. And the Midrash, Bereshis Rabbah, says that Noach was pleasant. The name Noach says was pleasant to God in the heavens and to man on earth. The word Noach refers to somebody who is calm, has a nice presence, who makes other people feel good, restful. So the Midrash says Noach l'shmayim v'Noach l'oretz, and he was just the opposite of everybody else in his generation. Because the people were not just destroying themselves, but they were making a destruction between themselves and God. Because they were not walking in the ways of God. What are the ways of God? It says, the Chassam Sofer says this. He says, Mahu rachum, afata rachum. Just like you, God, are merciful, so too we should be merciful. When we talk about God is created in the Tselem Elokim, the image of God, it means that we should have the qualities of God, the quality of mercy. And the quality of mercy means to be kind to other people. And he says, therefore, what they were doing, the people in that time were destroying the way of God, destroying the concept of the merciful God because they were not merciful. And had they only shown mercy to each other, this great calamity would not have happened, because if they had shown mercy and kindness to one another, God would have shown mercy and kindness to them. The Tiferet Shlomo says that the Mabul, the flood, happened because of robbery. When you rob somebody, when you're taking their possessions, you are not having any mercy on that person. and you are going against the desire of God to be merciful to one another. And God deals with us. Midah keneged midah. Measure for measure. So if we're merciful, God will be merciful to us. If we're not merciful, chas v'shalom, God will not be merciful to us. So therefore the world was filled with corruption, with thievery. And they weren't concerned with the concept of being merciful and being kind to one another. In Tehillim, in Psalms, it says, Ki omarti olam chesed yibana. King David says in the Psalms, I have said, I will build a world of chesed, of kindness. And the Zohar, the Holy Zohar, says, it's talking about the future. I will build, not I have built. It says that not only is the creation of the world built on chesed, on kindness, but also through this concept of kindness, that is the only way to keep the world running. And if one does kindness to one another, then you'll be able to build a world of kindness. And the Midrash says an interesting thing. Avraham Avinu, Abraham, met Shem, one of the sons of Noach. And he asked him, he says, what was the merit that enabled you to withstand all this time in the teva, in the ark, and come out of the ark? So Shem answered Noach, it's because of the tzedakah, the righteousness, the kindness that I did there. So Avram said to him, what kind of kindness? It was only, what could you do in the ark? What kind of kindness could you do? There were no poor people there that you could give charity to. It was only you, it was Noach and his children. So he said to him, Shem said to him, no, I did kindness to the animals, the birds, the animals, the living animals. I didn't sleep. Constantly I was working on them day and night, giving them what they needed. So in that moment, Avraham Avinu realized, he said, wow, if somebody who does kindness to animals and birds, and without that he wouldn't have been able to get out of the ark, that kindness, he says, therefore, he says, me, if I do, how much more so should I do kindness to a human being? And that's the message that we get from the ark. And there's a beautiful story that is told about Rabbi Tanchuma. There was a time when there were no rains in Eretz Yisrael. And in Eretz Yisrael, in Israel, rain is dependent not on nature but on our prayers. So the sages decreed a fast until it rained. And 3 fast days passed, and the rain still didn't come down. So Rabbi Tanchuma he says, God should have mercy upon us, have mercy on them. And then it happened. Very interesting thing. There was a person who never gave any charity in his life. And all of a sudden, a poor person who had nothing approached him, and he gave him charity. So right away, Rabbi Tanchuma said, just like this person had mercy upon a poor person, so too, you should have mercy on your children, the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and give us kindness. And right away, it started raining. We actually prayed for rain on Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah that just passed. On Shmini Atzeres, we asked God, we started saying, Mashiv haruach morid geshem. Let the winds blow and the rains fall. But we didn't ask for rain immediately because the sages instituted that we don't say the same Talamotra, let the rains actually fall, until the 7th day of Cheshvan. This is the first day of Cheshvan, Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan. So until the 7th day. Why was that? Because in those days, people would come to the temple and to celebrate the holiday, but they needed time to get to the far ends of Israel. And it took them that long to get there. So God told the sages, we don't want it to rain on these poor people who are trying to get back. So we held up the rain. And now, even though we no longer have a Beis Hamikdash, to commemorate the importance of kindness and concern about somebody else, we kept the same custom where we don't ask for rain until the 7th of Cheshvan. The message from this, and the message we have to learn for the world, is if we could stop being narcissistic, stop caring only about ourselves, but start caring about another person, about the other human being, and that merit, God will care about us. If we show kindness and concern to other people, it will come back to us. We live in a world where there is a lot of anger, there's a lot of narcissism, everybody's out for their own. We can change this. It is up to each and every one of us to be able to change this. I bless us all that as we're praying for rain, which is life, we also pray to give us this kindness between one another. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a Chodesh Tov, a wonderful month, and a Shabbat Shalom.